What's up, Browns fans? Spencer German here with you. Anthony Moeglin alongside on the home front. He looks much warmer than I am, so credit to him, props to him, good for him. I would appreciate it more if this game was being played in the dome, but that's just me. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out with us for our pregame conversation here at Browns Roundtable. Always remind you, make sure you head on over to brownsroundtable.com. We'll have our live game thread for you over there. Also some stuff pregame, postgame, etc. If you want to stay up to date on the latest Browns news. Also, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. You can find more content like this, post-game press conferences, all that good stuff. We'll have another conversation for you, obviously, after the game as well. But the stage is set. Browns 49ers rematch from 2023 where the 49ers came into town, also with kind of some weird weather in the forecast, and the Browns were able to sort of sneak out a win with P.J. Walker starting at quarterback. Today, Shedeur Sanders is starting at quarterback, his second career start. And certainly reason to be excited about that. And we'll see if the Browns have a chance to pull that off again. I guess the 49ers team makes that, like, listen, this 49ers team is good. They're well coached. We know that. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. But I don't know that, like, even for the team from a couple years ago that felt like a juggernaut, I don't know that they're looked at as that this year. They've kind of found a way, because they're so well coached, to manage an 8-4 record despite some extenuating circumstances like injuries and all those different things.
Yeah, no doubt. And wins with Mac Jones at quarterback for almost half the season, and they're finally trying to get back healthy. But like their injuries that they've suffered this year have been like catastrophic. Like Nick Bosa out for the year, Fred Warner out for the year. You missed significant time with Brock Purdy too, and it's like they've been able to kind of get over that because, like you said, they're so well coached on all sides of the ball. Kyle Shanahan is like one of the best in the league. He's certainly one of my favorite play callers, and Robert Saleh on the other side has been very good. You know, he's just a really good defensive coordinator. He's the typical conversation of some guys are just meant to be coordinators, and he's one of those because it didn't go well for him as a head coach, but he's a damn good defensive coordinator, and they got this team playing really well. They're always going to come in and give you a hard time. They still got Christian McCaffrey. They still got Kittle. They got the weapons, and so the Browns are going to have to show up today, but it does feels a little bit like that 2023 game where it's like feels weird. The Browns are kind of counted out, and they still feel like they might have a chance.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And certainly with Shedeur Sanders at quarterback, that adds some excitement to this one. And there's reason for optimism with him under center. We saw last week against the Raiders the ability to sort of push the ball down the field, and the offense just looked even slightly different than it did under Dylan Gabriel, which is why I believe he retained the job today. Also, I think you saw a quarterback that got better as time went on. But even from like his debut here at Huntington Bank Field a couple weeks ago to that first start, you could tell that he's cleaned up some things about his game, and that's important. I think that's kind of the key moving forward for him, right? Like today, you want to see even more of that progress, even more of that, okay, how does he navigate the pocket and do those types of things? And if he can do that, if he can keep getting better as he sees like the live bullets in a real game setting, I think this is set, the table is set for him to keep this starting job the rest of the season and see what he can sort of showcase in that regard. So it's, the weather might make it a little tougher today. It's not supposed to, I don't think, be any precipitation during the game, but it is going to be a little windy today, a little cold today. So we'll see how that impacts things. And certainly run games are going to be important today for both teams. But yeah, like I think the goal for Shedeur is just like keep making that steady progress. Also, keep making that steady progress now that there's more tape on you. Like teams are going to start to see what your tendencies are, how to play you, how do you sort of counter that with some of your own corrections and things. And that's going to be sort of what I think the focus for Shedeur Sanders today and obviously the rest of the season if he keeps the job.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And stuff's starting to come out of that building. You know, you're getting, Schefter released a report last night saying how everybody was really impressed by him last week. And you're starting to see some leakage of, hey, they're going to give him a real shot, which could be big. That's big for the future of this team and this franchise. If he can show that he's got what it takes to win football games consistently and they can build around him, that'll change their approach going forward. So obviously a win is the number one goal today, but seeing that steady improvement has to be the case, and it's going to be tough today with the way the weather's going to lay out. Really critical to just make sure you don't turn the ball over, do all the right things to keep your team in the game as long as you can.
Yeah, no doubt. And we'll see obviously how that kind of comes together, what that looks like, how that comes to fruition. The other thing I'll say too is with Shedeur, I think he's actually taking over at the right time. You had that Raiders game last week, team that you were able to beat and get a good win against, showcase a little bit of what you can do. This week you get a 49ers team that, like, they're not a heavy pressure team. So I think he's going to have some room to operate in the pocket pretty cleanly today and make some of the plays necessary to show his ability. And then next week you get the Titans, who are another team like the Raiders that you probably that most people feel like the Browns should. That most people feel the Browns should probably win that game. So it's kind of like a 3-week stretch here where you really can, I think, showcase what you can do before things get a little bit tougher. Then you'll have the Bears, who seem like they're a pretty good football team, even though I doubted them in the beginning of the season. You get the Bills, you get the Steelers, you get the Bengals, 2 division teams to kind of round things out. So I think it's a good point in the season for him to be taking over. And like I said, it's just about showing that progress as he goes.
Germ, it's a perfect time. I think that's such a great point by you, because he gets a couple of these games where he can get his feet wet and figure out how to play in the NFL. And then he gets a couple opportunities to, hey, what if you do go and beat the Bears, or you do go and beat the Bills or the Steelers? Like, that's a major deal, and to be able to do that. So it's laid out perfectly for him, and really excited to see how he handles today, because he's going to find out today that playing where you're standing right now on a day like this, where it's gray, it's nasty, it's cold, it's windy, it's rainy, is a challenge, and that presents some unique challenges for him to kind of tackle today. So it's perfect time, and today's going to be another step in that test for him.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what that sort of has in store for him weather-wise, and what this kind of sets up as. Injury front for the Browns, 3 guys obviously out today. Alex Wright for the 3rd straight week. Aiden Huntington and Brendan Bates will not be suiting up in this one. Nothing too crazy there other than Alex Wright, who's a regular starter for this team, but Browns obviously were able to sort of survive without him last week, get that win, and that defensive line is so deep and so good, like they should be okay there. On the other player is Jerome Ford. He's got a questionable designation. I saw him walking in early today, so I'm assuming he's going to go through sort of like a pregame routine. We'll see what that means. If he can't go, we might get Raheem Sanders active for the first time this season, so we'll see what that looks like as maybe the 3rd back. But I would anticipate, especially with him coming back and practicing in a limited capacity Friday, I'm going to guess that Jerome Ford will play, but we'll see what that kind of looks like. Jerome Ford hasn't necessarily been a big part of their plans in more recent games anyway. It's been mostly, obviously, Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. And the run game is going to be a factor today. It's going to be important.
And Tommy Reese was asked this week about, packages with both Q and Dylan in there, and he had hinted at the fact that each one of them can run everything in the playbook. So I'm excited to see how they do this. And I think that one of the major things is that Robert Salah had made a comment about Quinshon Judkins. So they're going to be circled in on the run game, and making sure that they try to keep it down, because they know the Browns are going to lean into it pretty heavily.
All right, we're keeping it pretty short and sweet today, especially because I'm freezing my hand off right now because I didn't put my gloves on like an idiot. But anyway, this is the part of the program where we like to give you our predictions. We actually wrote these out and explained them even more in depth at brownsroundtable.com, so you can check them out there in written form if you so choose. But if you prefer us just to share them here and you want to hear what we have to say, we will give you our predictions. Megs, I always let you have the floor first, my friend. Go ahead. Wow. What is your prediction for today's game?
Hey, follower of the year for us is coming in. It's Johnson Island. He's been in the past couple shows. Yes,
unless the Mafia sells us today.
Unless the Mafia, I didn't see that part of it. But yeah, Browns win 30-10.
I just don't know what he means by that. I don't care that you put it up there. I just don't know what that means.
Ohio State does own football as well. Fun night last night. And hopeful that it carries over into today. I think today's going to be sloppy. I think that one of the major things is we got a Buffalo in here as well in the comment section. A lot of the Shedeur Sanders supporters are going to learn quickly today how nasty it gets on the lakefront, because it is going to be gross. It's going to be a bad weather day, and the Browns are going to lean into the run game, try to shrink this thing down, and get a win however they can. And it doesn't mean that Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders. It just means they're trying to win the football game. And
watch out for that Wildcat. I mean, if they run that one too many times,
the Wildcat,
it might just mean that they hate Shedeur Sanders. I don't know.
Tina Anderson's going to paratroop in. She's going to fly in and drop onto the.
Man, I wasn't naming names, but you just didn't even care. You were like, yeah, whatever.
No, Stefanski hates him because of the Wildcat. They're going to run the crap out of the football, and they're going to try to shrink this football game down, and make it just kind of a 1-score game. So I got it. I got Browns 13, 49ers 6. Brock Purdy has been bad in Cleveland. He's come here a couple times and not played well. He doesn't play well in the weather. This Browns defense, we didn't even talk about them in our show here. They're playing at such a high level that they're going to make it challenging. They stopped Christian McCaffrey. I think they're going to be able to hold down the 49ers. I think the Browns get a touchdown early and maybe throw in a couple field goals there. So I got Browns 13, 49ers 6. Browns get a win, 2 in a row, and they're rolling.
Yeah, listen, I think the weather, even without any precipitation, is going to be a factor. Sometimes you get those games where a team just doesn't really look like they want to be here. If the 49ers come out like that, I could 100% see the score playing out the way you did. You laid it out. And certainly, it could set the stage for a Browns upset today. I think there's going to be I think it's going to be fairly low scoring. I think the Browns are going to have a shot at this one up until the very end. I'm going 49ers 21, Browns 20. I think a last-minute drive by the Niners gets them over the top. They score a touchdown to win the game. And that's kind of – I just think in the end, the 49ers key players, Christian McCaffrey, et cetera, those guys will make the plays when necessary to get over the hump. But that all sort of dictates them, coming in and actually not being deterred by the weather and the cold and all that different stuff. So we'll see if they can sort of combat all that. But I'm giving the 49ers a slight victory here. I still think the Browns defense is so good that they're going to cause some problems for them, which is going to keep it pretty close for a while. It might just be sort of a last-minute, end of the game type scenario where the 49ers find a way to get it done. I just think the 49ers being able to attack the edge is going to be key today. They like to do that with the run game, especially with Christian McCaffrey, and that's been an area I think that the Browns have given up some bigger plays this season on defense. So we'll see what that kind of looks like as well. But I'm saying 21-20 49ers.
Germ, do we have any bold predictions today? Do we have
I forgot about bold predictions.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
One. I think they hold Christian McCaffrey under 100 all-purpose yards, so running and passing. I think that the Browns linebackers, not just Carson Schlesinger, but Devin Bush, are both playing at such a high level, and the interior of the Browns defensive line is just owning teams and allowing for the exterior guys to go after the quarterback. I think they're going to make life really challenging for Christian McCaffrey today. So I got McCaffrey under 100 all-purpose yards, and the Browns defense holds him down. And if they can do that, they'll have a legit chance to win this game.
I'm going to say Myles Garrett 1 sack against Trent Williams today. That's going to be a key matchup to certainly watch. And I'm going to say Jerry Jeudy.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say Harold Fannin Jr. 100 yards and a touchdown.
Harold Fannin Jr. 100 and a touchdown.
There you go.
Love that, dude.
There you go.
That 110%. I like that. I like this one, Jerm. Wild dog, not wildcat. I do like that one a lot. I like that.
Yeah, that would be the Browns or Kevin Stefanski touch on that formation for sure.
And hey, guess what? I don't think you had this on your bingo card. We've got World War II talk in the comment section today. Browns on Ohio State
and helped win World War II.
Check that out. Hey, we got WWE
Ohio against the world. Everything revolves around Ohio. However you want to put it. I think it's fair. Anyway, we got some classic Northeast Ohio weather in the forecast today. We'll see how it impacts this game. Make sure to follow along with us. BrownsRoundtable.com. We'll have a live game thread for you there in the comments. Join our community if you haven't done so already. And we appreciate you guys supporting us as always. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel here. We'll have another conversation for you post-game to talk about whatever happens on the field behind me. And, of course, all the post-game press conferences and stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the game and keep on following along with all things Cleveland Browns with Cleveland Browns Roundtable.
4